I promise not to continue harping on you on Bootstrap for too much longer because it is too damn cold in the office. It is 51 degrees down here today, and my hands are slowly starting to not function the way I want them to. It's hard to type in the cold. I just wanted to hit home on a couple of more of the really big benefits here to Bootstrap. I know we've talked about other aspects of it, but what I really want to do is focus on the parts of the framework that you are going to use the most. Not because it's easy and baked into other platforms, not because you don't have to install it, not because, of any of the other reasons, but you as a developer, I think, or I know rather, you are going to appreciate the following parts the most. Number one is the rules of the grid. So Bootstrap uses a 12 column layout. So if you'll remember, columns go up and down, rows go across like this. So essentially what happens is the grid that you used is comprised of 12 columns. So you can use the containers that are already included and defined in Bootstrap. You can use large containers, small containers, medium containers, all of which have rules. So there's containers that are 12 columns across. There are containers that are 6 columns across. There are containers that are 3 and 4 columns across. And what you'll notice is that magic number of 12 gives you a very nearly infinite combination. It's permutations, actually. Very nearly infinite permutations of different sized containers that you can affix to that grid that will essentially make anything look custom for your actual content. So you here with the course and in your exposure to Bootstrap, you're going to really appreciate the idea of that 12 column layout, because once you get the hang of that, pages really are easy to assemble. Some of the other things that are already assembled for you in the beginning, you may feel as though they are, I'm going to use the word limiting here, but really what it just allows you to do is develop what you develop, change little things that you have to later on by actually tweaking the CSS, and then just moving the heck on from there. So Bootstrap has taken care of typography for you. So there's only so many built into the framework typefaces and sizes that are available. As a matter of fact, there's only a certain amount of colors that are built in and available to you via the framework, which is fine, right? Because as long as you can develop quickly, you'll get a page out to your clients. If you need to represent code, we're finding more and more now that, things like hashtags, things like actual code, so like HTML code, things of that nature, things like markup, which is a discussion for another day. You can actually represent code in Bootstrap by default with the code container, and it works out really well. That actually makes it so that your clients can copy and paste things from the browser into someplace else, and it works like it would be code as opposed to plain text with markup language on it. So that makes it really great. Tables, I know it's one of the things that I love to defecate on verbally in Web 101. But it's something absolutely you need to use in web development. Tables have in every other row scheme to them, and that is taken care of by the framework. That's fantastic. Forms taken care of by the framework. You can tell where this is going, right? There are images and icons. Icons are taken care of for you by the framework. So that means things like social buttons, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, everybody else who plays but nobody looks at. All of those are represented in the framework. So you don't have to go out there and actually locate the images and things that you need. It's all taken care of for you. Buttons taken care of for you. You can tell where I'm going with this, right? So is it true that in the beginning, it will feel as though we are stymieing at least a little bit some of your creativity. Yeah, sure. But the payback is things like a navigation bar built in for you, a collapsible drop-down list for navigation bar, built in for you, a progress bar. So if you're trying to tell people how long their forms are going to take, built in for you. I really, really think that the benefits here inside of the 6 hours it's going to take you to get through the training, we're talking about that next. The benefits inside of learning Bootstrap far, far, far outweigh the reduction in personal choice there. So this really is a developer's language, and that means it's right up your alleys.